Hey, welcome back, tubers. I thought again I would do a random live feed because it is raining on the tin roof and I can't record much stuff. It's getting a little bit crazy. The weather, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But here we are. Rightio, minimize that, close that down. Where's me chat? There's me chat. Have I got all the correct pages open? I do believe I have. Whilst I am waiting for somebody to join me, I will just try and set up here a little bit, because professionalism is key to a good live feed. I'm going to stop making these live feeds public after I finish the live feeds as well. So I'm just going to do a live feed and then it'll get hidden away in a private playlist rather than being public. I seem to be losing some subscribers because of the playlists. People don't want to see it. Read my mind. But there's no one watching. 0 watching live. Oh, there we go. We've got 6 now. Somebody's going to be the first one to type something into the chat. When's that going to happen? Come on. There we go. No audio. There's got to be audio. Why is there no audio? Microphone 1. There's audio. Oh, at least I think there's audio. When can we have a chat in person, copy in person? I hear you. There we go. Audio now. Who knows what's going on? Low audio. The audio is almost all the way maxed out. I can't really tone it up anymore. What's happening? What is happening out there? I am trying to learn how to live feed, but my ability to learn how to not to live feed, to 3D print stuff is somewhat lacking. Is a lot lacking, actually, as it turns out. All of my well, not all of them, but a lot of my prints are lifting. Wait a minute, there we go. So you can see on the corners here and here, it's lifting up. It's not sticking to the bed, and that's driving me crazy. And then I pulled that one off. That one comes straight off. Like, how do I step that forward? There we go. Come on. When I peeled it off, it just comes straight off. I didn't have to do anything. And then I started it again, and coming towards the end, it just sort of breaks. And I believe that's because I'm using ABS plastic rather than PLA, because I ordered the wrong stuff. And some of you guys have turned in and said it's because I don't. You need a really constant temperature. But only like half an hour before, it was fine. There was no cracking or anything. It must just get some stress in there and break off. I don't know. But it is quite annoying. On the upside, I am learning. And learning is a good point. There we go. It's got cracked across there, and cracked all the way across the back. I can't even finish this video. I've had to leave it on there for 12 hours because it's been raining. So, get that out of there. Where's my ugly mug again? There we go. Back to me again. I got to edit that into the movie somehow. Audio now. It actually notified me that it never happens. I can hear you. I can hear you. Love your work. Thank you. How long can you run your house? 60 or 70 hours. Longer if I'm careful. And I leave the solar on. The bed is heated. Yes, Travis. And I've got the bed running at 110 degrees. I've tried it from 100 to 110 degrees and it cracks almost every time. And I've got the print temperature at 230 degrees. However, this is saying I can go to 260 degrees. I haven't done it yet. I do have glue stick, but I haven't been using the glue stick method because of the print bed on the Ender 3 is weird. it's this paper, it's this plasticky type of product. So I've ordered a proper, like a better extruder head, and all the mechanisms, instead of being plastic, I've got the metal ones, the upgraded ones, and I've also ordered a glass bed for it. So hopefully that helps, and I'll be changing to PLA rather than ABS, at least for the short term. In the middle of summer, where it's always warm in the shed, I will start doing, I'll probably do some more PLA. The PLA has a good, the ABS has a good print quality. It will curl like a bitch. We can show that one. Yes, ABS needs the same temperature. I believe that is true. It's all learning. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I've got a box, and this should be in the video, not on the live feed, but I got a box full of failed prints. I've tried to do vent covers and it's failed, and I've tried to do the mods for the MPT 7210A, and it cracks where you can see a crack there. So, and that's only a small one. I have got one that worked, but I just haven't put it in. So that's the mod to sort of try and shut that fan up a little bit. I haven't finished that yet. I've done some blocks for the, what do you call these things? XT90. I've done some blocks for them, but again, that cracked. So, but that's all right. It's all learning. I put a photo up on DIY Powerwalls on Facebook, and somebody said to me that it's PLA, ABS plastic that does it, and I went, oh shit. And of course I ordered this because it was $3 a kilo cheaper or something. Yeah, that was stupid, but it doesn't matter. Underneath your TV, it used to say hot Asian chick on the wall. Oh, good bringing up back history. Yeah, that was a video I did copying Average Joe. Did I send something to Average Joe and he stickered himself with thumbs up stickers or something? It might have been a t-shirt, the 18650 t-shirt. And I did a video soon after that, and I said I may as well be a hot Asian chick or something. I don't know. I can't remember what video it was in. But it was funny for a while until somebody got offended, and then I had to take it down. I even had t-shirts done up. So I've got a thing for Asian girls. My wife doesn't like it very much because she's not Asian. Curl like a bitch. Design around the long parts. I can't design. I've tried designing stuff. Where is it? 3D. Look, I've seriously tried designing stuff, right? Transition, and I'm only using 3D Builder in Windows 10 because that's all I've got. And I tried designing this, right? And okay, so this took me a long time, so don't judge me. But the plan with that was, and I keep forgetting that I got to change cameras, was this bit here and a mount, an iPhone mount. So my iPhone would go in here, this would sort of go behind, and there's a bit missing from here because it broke off and I did it wrong. But because my microphone is designed for a 6 and not the
Apple.com should be able to answer that question and more.
Okay, thanks, Siri. Go away.
Was it something?
No, yeah, it was something you said, actually. Yeah, so Apple I can't plug this in to my new phone, so I've had to use one of these little adapter things so I can plug it into my phone, but then, of course, I can't attach it to my phone. And I think it took me over half an hour to work out how to do that, because I just don't understand it. It's not because I didn't know how to do it. I just didn't know all the imports and which bits go where and all that sort of stuff. And where it joined across here, it just broke apart. So I did it, and again, you can't see me. So it's just these two little bits. That was supposed to be there. No, that was supposed to be there. and it just broke off. So I've got to do it in one big piece rather than two small pieces. So it's a solid piece of whatever you call it. Anyway, that was a long story to say I can't design shit. Even though I have tried, one of the things I have been asked to design is end covers for this, for the big transfer switch. Or not transfer switch, breaker, shunt trip, to do covers for the end of that. So that's going to be my project, to try and get that right for Rowan. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to pull it off, but I'm going to give it a crack. You can cover the bed with painter's tape and then cover that with glue. Yes, I have seen that. It's funny with the 3D printer, because it was it's a product for a review. I didn't pay for it. I'm trying to do the right thing by it. I'm trying to learn it as opposed to just jump on the internet and type and then learn it that way. I'm trying to learn by my mistakes, so I actually learn a lot faster, and that's sort of the way I always work. And I'm enjoying the process quite a lot, and I don't want to break it, so I'm going very slowly. Pete not figured out how support for 3D printers yet. No, I haven't. Verbatim material is the shit. Cheap material. There we go. Adam, welcome, mate. Yes, it is awesome, but it doesn't work on the new phone. Judging is intensifying. IKEA 3D printer enclosure. What? Adhesion to the bed needs learning. It's not so much adhesion to the bed, it's understanding what I'm doing more than anything else. There is actually an IKEA 3D printed cupboard. What the heck? That's actually a thing, Jaron. That's going to give me something to do later today. I'll drive to IKEA. Is it just a little cupboard? Anyway, I digress. I shouldn't be looking at that sort of stuff. Who else we got in the room? GitHub, present user. Now I'm getting sidetracked completely. IKEA lackluster enclosure. I definitely think that is going to be a thing. Oh, look at that. Elements of the inks up the top. I have to get one that fits my printer, but so that must just keep all the heat in there, and that would also use less power and be more efficient too, so that can only be a good thing. Yep, 3D print's all about ambient temperature. If you want to share a project that I just built, can I email you directly? Yes, you can email me directly on admin@DIYpower. And yes, I should change that to admin@secondlifestorage.com, but DIYPowerwall, DIYPowerwalls, whatever, will work. Just tuned in from Flint, Michigan. Welcome, Gregor. Who else is here? Is anybody else new here? Because we got a bunch of regulars. Layer delta intent upward curl using. Okay, now you're just talking French to me. DL, shout out from Malaysia. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. New. And the rain started again. Is the rain too bad on the actual microphone? I don't know if you can hear it or not. When I'm quiet, there's just a little bit there where I'm quiet. Alan, hi from Darwin. Welcome, buddy. Have you got any projects on the hop? What's happening up there? I wonder if this rain is going to go away anytime soon. I reckon I should ask Dr. Google. Bomb, Brisbane, Bureau of Meteorology, SBNE, radio. It does look like there is a considerable amount of precipitation in progress. I don't think it's going to stop raining for a while. Not that that matters, because we haven't had rain for quite some time. I'm sort of, where am I? I can hardly see. I'm sort of here somewhere. If you can even see my mouse moving. We're in for a long wet day. Darwin, I'm new to live streams from Toowong here. Travis, welcome. Do you pay a house or just your shed lab? No, almost all of my home is powered off grid. So there's 4,480 cells that run the house. Wash machine, dryer, fridge, freezer, all the televisions, ceiling fans, lights, deep fryers, 2 out of 5 air conditioners. The only thing that aren't on it is, well, 3 air conditioners. The hot water system isn't connected to the batteries, but it is connected to solar. And the stove and oven are not connected to the batteries. So, 3/4 of my house, I mean, you'd probably say 95% of my house if you went by actual usage. That Powerwall there only runs a few things here, and that light up there, and this charger. It doesn't run the rest yet, because that 12 volt inverter is run by that 48 to 12 volt converter from that 48 volt battery. That will not be charging today. We're getting 8 watts into the batteries from 1,000 watts of panels in the rain. Just harvested some 3400 plus CGE 18650. Pretty excited. Cool. Have you gone to the forum database to have a look at their original capacity? Obviously the 3400, but if there might be some other information that you need there. Dan just started subscribing today. Very cool stuff. Welcome, Dan. A bunch of new people have subscribed, and a lot of people, I think I've had, I don't know, 4,000 this month, or no, sorry, 2,000 this month subscribe on one video alone. Quite a few, somewhere around that anyway. Chris, but yeah, we're going to have rain most of the day. It's alright, we need it, the total fire ban, so it will be quite nice to have a bit of wet stuff. Can't hear the rain. Cool. Alan Gilbert, solar for my projects, moving to Brisbane in the next few months. Electric motorbike is at the dump now. No! Or is it just the frame that's at the dump and you sold everything else off? Raffle M, hello, making the batteries out of used cells, is it worth it money-wise? That's a very good question. When I first started, yes, it was worth it because, well, nobody else was doing it. Well, not too many people. There's one guy in the States that, you know, thought about doing it but never finished anything. But then the project started getting a little bit more popular and gaining traction and stuff like that. And then it got harder and harder to find anything. So it was cool. It was very cheap in the early days. But and it's almost impossible. I haven't really looked very hard, but I haven't found a new supplier in at least a year. I've got 2 suppliers that I get stuff every 6 months, and that's just enough for me to keep one Opus going 24/7. And I've probably got maybe 200 laptop batteries left. And I reckon with the 2 Opus, that's only going to last another month or so. I am getting through them a lot quicker now. I'm doing one of these bricks every couple of days, every probably 10 days or something, give or take. I don't math, so I can't work that out properly. Doug, Elizabethtown, KY, hello to all. Welcome. What's up from Kansas? Welcome, Michael. Alan Gilbert, almost came to see you at Forest Lake when I was there last week. Are you one of the people that contacted me? I've had a few people contact me lately, but I have so many people contact me about coming and visit. I say yes, and then I do something else and then completely forget to reply back to you again and give you a time and a date. Or I reply back and I can't remember whether it was Facebook, YouTube, Skype, the forum, DIY power, like there's so many bloody messengers out there. But maybe I should do a video. If you want to come and see me, you have to contact me, and only by email or something like that. So that way it's all in the one place. Maybe that's a good thing. I do enjoy sitting around talking about my project, probably a little too much. If you can get batteries cheap enough, absolutely. But even if you can't get them cheap enough, but you can get, maybe you got the inverter cheap. You know, there's different rules. Batteries you can get from anywhere. Second life storage, cars, EVs, you know, old cleaning equipment with big batteries in it, golf carts, EV cars, whatever. There's heaps of places you can get cells from. Heck, there's some guy in the States that scored a whole heap of Segway batteries. There's 18650s in the Segways. So if you've got a Segway hire business in your local area, go and hit them up. Do you think the way you are doing Powerwalls would translate to use in a motorhome, etc.? Travis, that's a very good question. I think if you're doing it in your sole accommodation, obviously you have to put it in, on, or around your vehicle. I would hazard to say I wouldn't do it. However, there are lots that are or have done it. It's completely up to you, but you'd have to really think about how you are doing it. I think spot welding would have to happen, not individual fuses, because I think if you are traveling, you would vibrate the little fuse wires and eventually it would break. Well, that's what I think anyway. I think it would break. So, does this work? No. Webcam options. Autofocus. No. There we go. That'll stop that from happening. Is that locking up now? No. Anyway, I was trying to do something different with the actual web camera. I'm going to turn some more lights on. It's very dark. Is that any better? I think that's worse. There's heaps more light. Do you think you can translate from motorhome? Yeah. Is there a certain brand of 18650s? There are certain 18650s that are higher capacity as a rule, i.e. NCR 18650s. They're blue and they're grey and they're green. You get, well, there we go, there's two that I picked up. One 3079 and one 3049. I have had thousands of these cells and they have been awesome. Absolutely friggin' awesome cells. So they are good cells. However, I do not put them, of late, I've changed the way I do it. I don't put them in my cells, in my batteries, because they are way better than most of the other 2600 milliamp hour. A lot of these are 26s. They're all Samsungs. The blue on the outside are all Samsung 26, 28 and 30s. Qs or whatever they're called. I'm fairly sure that that is what they are. Of course I can't get that one out. But I do like the Samsungs. I am going through and taking out a lot of the Sonys. No, not Sonys. What are they? These ones that I don't want to put in, but is in there. Sanyo cells. These ones are in there because I need someone to put them, but I really don't want to put the Sanyo cells in there anymore. However, I am putting the white ring ones in there because the white ring ones I found to be 2400 milliamp hours or somewhere around that, so they're quite good. But I guess it's what you can get, and if you haven't got many, you take what you can get. Someone else. No, I didn't plan anything. Was down with family. I just cruised past on the way to Browns Plains. Why going to the fun parks. Geez, I haven't done that for years. I'm not really a fun park person. I didn't realise it was midnight at your place. Hey, Rowan. Rowan, I've been trying to do this morning. Well, I googled to see if anybody else had done it. Thank you, you're an inspiring person. I'm still harvesting cells, but when I look at price for all the gear, I often find them very expensive. Look, mate, I would absolutely agree, and I have been extremely fortunate that my YouTube channel is now able to pay for everything that I do on camera. So whereas I spent over $10,000 in the early days of trying to set my Powerwall up, and that's fairly well documented. In fact, if you look below, there's a link to the cost of my project. That's fairly well documented, but I was fortunate in the fact that in the entire time that I've been doing YouTube and being monetized for the last 2 years, it's smashed that figure. So I am extremely grateful for that. It hasn't smashed it, but it's certainly exceeded it. But I get you with the expensive thing. I had a lot of problems, and it caused a lot of problems with my relationship back in the early days. And I'm talking more than I've ever made public type problems. And we'll stop talking there. Found a local recycler that sells me laptop batteries for 60 cents USD. I get about 200 packs a month for the last 5 months. That is a smoking deal. If you can get them for under $1 each, that is absolutely brilliant. Howdy from New York. Joshua, welcome. 60 cents a pound. Holy shitballs, that is cheap. Places have the word green in their name. Yeah, that's a human nature thing. We all think green is something healthy and wonderful. Seems most of the recycling places are been checking other cities as well on vacation. That's all you can do. I can't even find the covers retail. Rowan, I think this is a really good project, and I think it's a worthy one for me to try and learn. I also want to actually do the little cover for here. I want to try and print a cover that goes onto the bottom of that. I think that would be a very good thing to actually learn as well. I'm not sure whether the 3D program within Windows 10 is capable of doing this sort of thing, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway. I already have Patreon, but I don't promote Patreon. I get like $10 a month from Patreon. I don't get very many donations. I don't get very much because I think it's a lot better. I hate the fact that somebody else gets a cut when you do it through Patreon or PayPal. I would much sooner people use my affiliate links below and click on them, because it doesn't cost you anything then, but still heavily supports me. There are YouTubers out there that make tens of thousands of dollars a month from just affiliate links, so it doesn't cost anything to the viewer, which I think is a lot better. Hi Pete. Corey is in the house. Well, Korshan was one of the most users on the Facebook DIYpowerwalls.com. No, secondlifestorage.com. Sorry, Mike. Do you not use 4.3 volt at 18650s? I remember you had some LG baby shit brown. I was wondering if you ever used them, and if not, why? Baby shit brown, I hardly ever use. Why? Because, wait a minute, that's a baby shit brown one, and that's 2356, even with my shit handwriting. That's one in all of them. Yeah, you go down here. Pull out this box, it is falling apart, and you can see all the baby shit brown ones in there. And there is, this box would be I don't know, 10% baby ship brown. And they're all 15, 16, 1700 milliamp hours. So usually, if I wasn't getting to the end, I would just throw them out and not even test them, or try and sell them before I test them. But there's two handfuls there. But I think on the Facebook group this morning, someone put a photo up of some damaged cells and said, "Do you use damaged cells?" No, I don't, as it turns out. When I get a damaged cell, God, the minute you want to actually find some, that's a 2950, and you can hardly see the damage on that one. I don't even know what that one is, but a little tiny dent like that, even though that's probably going to be a 3000 milliamp hour cell. That one is 28. The little dent, you can hardly see it. And this one's not even tested. Again, a little tiny dent. All that sort of stuff gets recycled straight away. I don't even use it. So, and there's a whole bunch of grey ones in here somewhere too. I might have pulled them out to do other projects with them. But yeah, oh, that's where those fans are. Been looking for them. For the bottom of the opuses. My system works. So there you go. Baby ship brown ones, don't really use very much. Where are we going? If you get them that cheap, keep it to yourself before the person selling it finds out. They're yeah, we heard that a lot. The price skyrockets. One of the places I used to buy them for really early on, I used to pay $1 each for them. I pay $1 a kilo now. I used to pay $1 each for them. And I went back up there after like 3 months, and they said, no, we get $5 each from on eBay now. And I almost fell off my chair. Patreon, we've already covered that one. So whatever happened to your electric pit bike? With the electric pit bike, I sort of lost interest. I bought all the stuff except for the motor, and then realised, one, I don't have the skills to mount the motor. I can't weld. I don't have an aluminium welder because I had an aluminium framed pit bike. There were a lot of things that stopped me from doing it. I would still love to do it, but I suck at doing EV stuff. I've still got the scooter down there. You know, there's what, $800 worth of stuff sitting on the floor, and I haven't even put it together yet. And in fact, the battery's probably sitting in the bottom of that box there I just pulled apart. Because I don't understand it. I don't understand how the controllers go together, and it's very, I know this sounds dumb, but it's frustrating. Electron skateboards. I've had a few skateboard places reach out to me to do a skateboard project with them. One in the States and one in Australia. I can't remember the names. I have turned both of those offers down because, again, I'm not really... I don't think I'd ride a skateboard too safely. I put it that way. I think it would cause some sort of physical issue with my body. I'd fall off. Neo Darkness, because you don't use your 18650s 4.1, why don't you use 4.3? The only I've got 4.35 volt 18650s, but I sell them, well, I sold all the original ones off, and then I'm giving all the ones that I find away to him. And there's these purple ones. Can you see that? They're purple with a yellow ring on top. I don't know what voltage these are. I'm fairly sure these aren't 4.3 volt ones, but these purple ones are certainly 4.35 volt. So they go to somebody down south. Probably got, I only got about 10 packs down there for him. So, but I give them all to him because they're no good to me. I have used them in the past, but I used them unknowingly. I didn't know what they were. Joshua, I've got a question on the Sunco battery welder. I'm curious if you have tried it on nickel-plated copper, such as what's on OEM, Ryobi, and AEG batteries. No, I haven't, Joshua. I still have Rowan's there, next to that big box of NCR rating 650s I have to make into a battery pack this weekend, I hope. Bitcoins, yes, the only currency that's going down at the moment. He doesn't have enough of the cells. He won't invest the time, put them into a wall. I know I wouldn't exactly. I wouldn't want 3,000 before I use them. And that is exactly why I'm giving all of those cells to somebody else, because he already has 200 laptop batteries. So what's that? 200 by 6, so 1,200 odd cells. So maybe he can finish a pack, or he can just, you know, whatever. I don't know. Make another one. Oh, so those LG cells are like Sanyo. No, they don't get hot. That's a person's cells. That person's cells weren't down if they were sledgehammered or smashed or driven over or whatever. I agree. Or is only 60% usable. Can't remember what that was. Eric Howdy from Tennessee. Why do I think I've missed over some? Chris DIY, how are you doing from Oklahoma? Welcome, buddy. I don't know why my comment broke apart 3 times. Neo Darkness, I don't know either. Hitting the enter all the time. I hit enter a lot just by default, and it just keeps sending messages. I do it on my phone all the time. Oh, I got all my lives back on Candy Crush. See you guys. No. What do we got? Oh, that's a lot of rain still. IKEA. What have we got? 40. How long have I been on the stream for? I don't want to be out here for more than an hour. 37 minutes. So 20 minutes left. And then I'm going to bail and go and do something inside the house I'm lying. I'm going to sit out here and do some more battery stuff. I have a system set low cutoff at... Wait a minute. I got to read in order. I found a place for 80 cents a pound. They had more than I could haul. Another large company in Kansas buys them for 40 cents a pound. Holy heck, that's cheap. Kanat, hi from Oregon. Welcome, Greg from then. I have a system set to a low cutoff of 3.4 volt per cell and max charge to 3.9. That will really extend its life. I sort of turn mine off when it gets sort of below 2.5 volts, but I've only got 5 packs that get that low, and I know they're dying anyway, so I'm not too concerned, as I have a few replacements, but I just couldn't be bothered putting them in. In winter, I don't have enough solar PV array power to charge up 3.9 cell per day. Oh, that's not good. I don't think I'll get too far into charging mine today, that's for sure. They are quite heavily smashed. Oh, it's still pulling 16 amps from them. And they are getting lower. But we've had about 2 days of rain, I think. But I've been playing with my shunt, so don't pay any attention to the state of charge and the shunt stuff. But 3.64 to 3.76, so what is that? 0.12 of a volt spread, which is, I don't know, that's not too bad, I guess. But I still haven't got them properly balanced up the top yet. They're still a little bit out, but they're getting better because we've had some good days. Come on. It's still not loading the data. And that is what you get from being on Wi-Fi, I guess. Where's my chat gone? Hey, what happened there? Oh, there we go. Where are we going? So anybody else do like a really crazy window for their battery charge and discharge? I probably go 4 to 4.1. I go 4.13. And to be honest, I could go to 4 and still get exactly the same amount out of the batteries because it'd be unbalanced a lot less lower, if that makes any sense. Well, it makes sense to me. So I could go a lot lower or go shallower. but I don't think it really matters for my cells because I've killed them on video so many times just to do videos. Or should I set the system to wait till 3.9 to discharge even if it takes 2 days of solar? It's up to you. I mean, if you can just use them, it depends if you just cut off at the lower and just let it charge up as much as it can. Or is it better keeping the batteries in winter just in case the power goes out, which is another concern. Caution, as you lower the upper charge limit, increases the cycle lives. Absolutely, that is what the interwebs has led me to believe. If it is not too much trouble, could you see if it'll do nickel-plated copper? I have a few rigid batteries, same as AEG, to rebuild them. I don't know if the Sunco will work. I don't think I've got any nickel-plated copper. Well, I certainly don't know what nickel-plated copper is or looks like. I've only got the nickel, the pure nickel strip, that stuff, and that's only 0.8 of a 0.015 of a millimeter thick. I'll have a look around, Joshua, but I'm fairly sure I'm not going to be able to help you. But that said, I've done it on those Vanon crap pieces of shit batteries. I don't know what that was, but that's spot welded. And I have done Ryobi batteries with the standard nickel, soldered, spot welded it back on, and that did work. Maybe that's nickel plated copper. I don't know. Arony, are you excited about getting into summer where you'll be getting more solar power? Not so much. I got 11,500 watts of solar panels now. So even though my batteries don't always charge up, I can, if I set a timer on my PIP inverter, I can turn it off during the day, and I still don't pull much from the grid, but it does charge the batteries a little bit more. But more often than not, I just leave it on 24/7. If they go flat, it just goes back to grid. So if it's storms coming or something like that, I will charge the batteries in panic mode. If I know like a proper storm is coming, I will turn every charger I have on and charge the batteries to 110%. You know, 4.22 volts or something. Put them all the way up to the top as far as I can, as fast as I can, and then turn the batteries off and just let them sit there. So that's if a storm's coming. But other than that, just rolls down the road, works well. What we got? Reboot. Rightio. Okay, about another 10 minutes left, guys, and then I am going to disappear. I had increase in voltage, increase in likely for wind. Hydro would be good. We got hydro coming out of the sky now. Sean, welcome, buddy. How are you? Chris DIY. How do these DIY lithium batteries hold up with higher temperatures? Well, we get, not this year, but last year, or the year before. The first year I started doing batteries, we had 41, 42, 43 degree days, and my batteries were fine. In winter, though, it's interesting you ask, in winter, it doesn't seem like they last as long. They seem to go flat much faster in winter. But I'm not sure if that's just in my head or on paper. It might be just because they don't charge as much. Like in summertime, they start to balance by about 11 o'clock in the morning. In wintertime, they don't start to balance until about 3 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon. So it may just be that they're not as balanced throughout winter. They're horrible. They're not very well balanced at all during winter. And in summer, they're just balanced a lot more, so they've got high capacity. I don't know. I've never really looked into it. It seems like there's less capacity in winter. Hello, everybody. John, no worries. Would you expect to pay for Batrium size? What would you expect to pay for Batrium system for a 20 kilowatt hour, 24 volt system? Well, if you did a 20 kilowatt hour system with this 7S, you just go to their website and get a 7S Batrium setup. I have no idea what that costs. www.batrium.com m.com. And starter kits. If you wanted the basic starter kit, it goes from $500 Australian. That's 7 Longmons and the Watchmon 4 and a USB cable. Or you can go the whole thing with the shunt for $804. No, that's with 7. 14, sorry. $677 with the shunt, which I would recommend because that gives it an added level of interaction. But that's AUD. I don't know what that is US. I don't think I can change it to US prices. Oh, I can change it to US dollars. $361 US. So you could spend more in your holders, your soldering iron or your spot welder, and your bus bars and your fuses than you do on the Batrium kit. So some people say it's expensive, but geez, it makes it easy and just simple. One click, one done. It's working. Okay, next. Wait a minute, I'm a Batrium fanboy. I shouldn't be commenting on Batrium stuff anymore. Let's, no, we're not going to pan over to that because I just reset it all again, just messing with it. Hide. Well, we're only charging at 1.3 amps now. That's not bad because it is really raining a lot. Battery University seems to say that 3.59 the cell will extend the life cycles as opposed to 4.1 or 4. I haven't seen that in person, but I do believe that that makes sense in reality. I haven't got enough scientific mind or to just do test after test and know that for a fact, but it does seem likely. It makes sense. But a cycle is still a cycle. It doesn't matter whether you go full voltage to bottom. So I don't know. Maybe I should have this one. Maybe I should get a second Batrium and put it on the Batrium and put it on this one, and maybe just charge this one to 4.9 volts. Sorry, 4.9 to 3.9 volts, and discharge it to a lot less, and maybe use this one as a test setup and see which one lasts longer. But the problem is there's no consistencies with any of the cells and stuff, so it's going to be very difficult for me to prove or disprove that. Near Darkness, is there anything you would have changed now that 8650 is done using other people's designs or equipment that you think would work better and won't change? Yes, absolutely. There's a bunch of things that I do differently. Mike Nacco, Rowan, and all the others have done like 300p packs. Parallel series, yeah, parallel. Sorry, I've got to keep remembering that parallel in series. I remember parallel by 2 parallel train tracks, and they're like positive on one side, negative on the other. That's a little tip from Pete. So they're doing 300p packs, and they have a lot less balance issues than I do. They also have a lot less in Batrium stuff, so it doesn't cost as much to do it that way, which is an awesome thing. And which is kind of why I'm going to 160p packs. They fit on my mounts, so I can have the same amount of space, but with double the capacity, in theory. And I don't have to buy any extra Longmons and stuff like that. So that'll work really well. What else would I do differently? I'd definitely build the packs better. In the early days, some of these packs, I had literally just... I tested cells and they went straight in. There was no balancing and no nothing. And I am halfway through a video with the IMAX Charger X6 where I'm charging and discharging 7 batteries and trying to work out the actual capacity of each battery, which takes a long time because I've got to take one battery out of service and change stuff over. So I am going through that video at the moment, and it's also giving the iCharger X6 a really thorough workout. I've had it for like a month now, and I'm really trying to do a sponsored video for that proves the point, and that is it can do what it says it does and can do it repeatedly. So that is in process. That's going to take me probably another month to finish, I reckon. I've got to do another little video so I can just get something out there for Banggood as well. Banggood, however you pronounce it. So I hope that answers that question, Neo Darkness. Daniel, if I'm trying to make a 48 volt e-bike, will approximately 8 amp cell level fuses be suitable? Total AC. Well, it depends on how many amps you're drawing from each cell. You've got to work backwards. Work out your load, and then work out whatever your load is per cell. And whether your cells can even do 8 amps, sustained 8 amps. You don't want to be pulling 8 amps from a cell that's supposed to do 5. That will get things warm quickly. I don't think anyone at Powerwalls will have an exiting long enough to find out. Been in existence, yeah, I agree. They haven't been around for long enough to know yet. I'm getting into Powerwall, starting off with 300 cells. Testing them is a slow with the low 500. Bulk charging with the RC charger. That's the way to go. 16 at a time, then pop in the tester for capacity check. That is absolutely the way to go. I always pre-charge everything. At the moment, I'm just using this one because it's 240 volt off that. And I just charge 14 at a time. Hopefully I get ahead. And then discharging with the IMAXs. And I think there's one, oh, there's 3 finished there. The 3 horrible results. I got to go on the forums. Welcome, Sean, and I will try and associate your real name with your forum name in future. What would you recommend for an MPP inverter? I would recommend any of the MPP inverters. I've had a great deal of success with the MPP inverters. However, that said, Rowan has suggested a better inverter. And this goes back to the question before, would I do anything differently? I would, the MPP inverters suit a price point. They really, really do. They are cheap and they work. For what they are, they work extremely well. I think a lot of people are getting plus 2 years out of them. Some unlucky people are getting less. I have gotten, well, I'm on to my 5th one. But I've been selling the old ones and moving up and up and up the ladder. 4th one, 5th MPP product, 4th MPP, whatever inverter. And the other 2 that I have are still in service. The other 2 that I sold are still in service and still running. So that's the first one's more than 3 years old, and I give that a hiding too. That was a 24 volt, 2,400 watt. But that one, if you go more than 1,500 watts, it just overheats and shuts down. For sustained 1,500 watts. So I definitely like the MPP inverters, but if you're going to do it better, I would use a grid-tied or a hybrid inverter. A hybrid inverter would be much better. And that does your whole house. It saves on electrician stuff, changing all the stuff around and all this sort of stuff. It's just so much better for the install side of it as well. Is it true if she grid tie, then the power goes out to your grid? Your grid goes out too. Yes, absolutely, and that is the problem with your grid tie inverter I'm looking at. If the grid goes down, I also go down and can't charge my batteries and can't use my batteries. However, I could leave a pip in there because I've already got all that sort of stuff set up with a transfer switch, and I could manually go out and transfer it over, which is probably what I'll do. Probably leave one 10 or 20 kilowatt hour system in complete standby, just have it sitting there charged all the time. If you only have 10p, then 8 depends on control requirements. Absolutely, Korshan. Or Core is a better way of pronouncing your name. Do you live near the guys from Oz Tool Talk? I believe they're in Melbourne. No, I live in Brisbane, in Forest Lake, Brisbane I live. Transfer switch, yeah. Ballpark, thanks. P changes things, I see, thank you. Grid tie, at James Curry, at Daniel. This makes it very quickly when people do at, when it's not a conversation with me. Yes, you're very correct. A cycle is a cycle. You won't be able to extend the life of the cells. I don't know if you'll be able to extend the life of the cells, but what are they? Dendrites, I think. I think what it does is it slows or stops the dendrite growth. And the dendrite growth comes at the top of charge from my interweb skills and for what I've seen. I'm running out of gas in my heater. I wondered why it was getting cold. That's not good. I haven't actually run out of gas in the heater. My heater just turned off for some reason. The P changes. What are you doing? Where am I up to? Right, so max control divided by cells in P. Yes, I believe that's true. Also determine the max draw. When dealing with e-bikes vehicles, you'll be using max amps for a few seconds, but a few seconds still counts. It depends if you're like me and just use the throttle on wide open constantly. I don't know that question on the BBS02. Hi again from Mount Flora, Florida. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome back, Daniel. Lipos are going to 4 volts and down to 3.1 backs. Makes 12S helicopter batteries last most longer. Won't running them hard and stop at 3.1 volts. I'm sure lithium ions. I think they're pretty close. Yes, Sean. But again, I'm just guessing. I am absolutely no expert. A lot of people ask me like really, really in-depth questions via private messenger and stuff like that, and I just sit there scratching my head, and I just don't know. I've got to Google everything that I do. I usually Google everything that I do 2 or 3 times. You pronounced it Banggood. I always say Banggood for some reason rather than Banggood or Banggood. B-A-N-G good, whatever. Doesn't matter. Are you on Instagram? Yes, I am. HBPowerwall. And even if you look in the little doohickey thingy below, I've got the little link to Instagram and Facebook and forum and wherever else. And I'm not really active on Instagram, but I do like putting crap on there, photos of what I'm doing. So I'm not spamming on the Facebook, DIY Powerwalls on Facebook. I don't want to be seen just loading that up all the time, so I try and spread my crap out a little bit. It seems like most of the cells are more in 4 or 5 amp range. I agree. HP Powerwall, you're about 10 modes behind in the chat. That is fine. It happens. I think I'm actually catching up in the chat. I am. My city inspector just ignored the battery pack. Really? Why would he ignore the battery pack? I thought that would be part of his job. What's up, Peter? Not staying long. It's over 3 a.m. here in the UK. Joshua, welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time to tune in. It is midday here, and I'm about to leave because lunch is important. My nickname usually gets nicknamed Corey. Cool. I will remember that. Would you ever consider becoming a supercharge station for electric cars? Only if I could monetize it, Alan. I have considered using some of my income from what you guys effectively give me by using my affiliate links to buy a charging station, but where I've got nothing really close to me where people can hang out. I certainly don't want people coming here to charge and then sitting on my couch up here when I'm trying to work or look at porn or did I say that aloud? Whatever, you know what I mean? So I don't want people hanging around here. I don't know what the etiquette is. I don't know whether they sit in the car or go for a walk or have a cigarette. I don't know. But that would create a burden on my work because I work from home. I would at any point help anybody in this community out if they got stuck and they had an electric vehicle. You can come here in a heartbeat and plug in and charge if it gets you out of trouble. But as for actually taking money out of my own pocket and then taking time to talk to these people or, you know, whatever, entertain them, I couldn't do it. It wouldn't work on a business level. Supercharge and chat. No, I think I just went through that fairly well. Alan, I want to buy a 12S BMS. What should I get? Bailout, you can get anything you like. Is there even such a thing as a 12S BMS? I would have thought there's a 13 and 14, but not a 12. Unless some of them you just don't put the last cable on, I guess. Joshua, thanks guys, later for the info. Cryer, thank you very much. Hey, I have caught up, and since I have caught up to the chat, I am going to take this opportunity and say thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you for keeping the chat cool and active and whatever. And if you like what we do, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. That will be much appreciated. And we will get after it next time, I think. There we go. And I got somebody knocking at the door, which means my kids are probably there waiting for lunch. A B&B charge station, sleep at HB's place. Yeah, sleep in your bloody car. I mean, chow. Crier. Have a good time zone, Pete and chat. I might come back on later on this afternoon if I still can't do any filming, editing, because obviously the microphone is much better on the camera and on the phone. The microphone is much better on the camera and phone. If I can't do that, I might have another one later on this afternoon. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I have got the chat closed and I'm about to sign off. See you later. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.